We got a 1, a 2, a 3. Hey now! Metal Mike coming from you from the Ford Transit, brother. That's right. We're rolling in style. A lot smaller, not as noisy, not as rattly, but we're on the road. It is 6/16/15, man. Tuesday. Too late in the day for me, 12:28 p.m. Dude, I am used to hitting the road junking at the very least, if I'm so blessed to get out of the house early morning. Didn't happen today. Let's touch on some things, eh? The last video's made about the flea market, etc. The flea market, what do I got to say about that? Well, it's this. I've reassessed everything. You know, maybe I need to hold back before I shoot some videos and let my whole system kind of settle down and reevaluate everything before I post. But yet again, it's good to catch that raw emotion because we can always go back to it later and correct it and touch on things that maybe I didn't explain properly, or maybe my point of view has changed even with one night's rest. Remember, that's a huge thing in life. Giving yourself time before you send an email, or before you post a video, or before you call a friend. Give yourself some time to breathe so that you can totally get your feelings across properly without blowing it. And also, sometimes you want to just ride that frickin' emotion, man, that is so essential at times in life to get your point across. That pure anger, that raw, maybe you feel like something's gone wrong, or maybe just pure passion for something that's gone right. That is beautiful too. So hey, look at it. But we're not getting to the point. What's this about? It's about picking. It's about junking. It's about collecting. It's about hoarding. Tons of stuff. Casey, brother, oh hey now. Got your message. That made me reassess everything on a whole nother level. Now, immediately when I was reading your message, I was jealous. I was like, man, I need 18 buildings full of junk. See, it never ends. You're never happy. But really what the point is let's get back to those flea market videos. What is the point I'm trying to keep going back to? And I just keep filibustering and going in circles because that's how I speak. That's how I ramble. That's how I rant. Freestyle is this. I'm used to getting things done ASAP. So basically what that means, I come up with an idea, I put it into motion, I make it happen. That's the whole idea behind it. It's peaceful that way, and it can happen. Now, that's the problem, because basically getting rid of all of my personal items, I can't do it because it's going to take time. It's going to take time to develop and to make it happen, basically. So what I have to do is I have to go slow. I have to naturally get rid of the inventory. You know, I have all these visions of getting the garage empty and just having it lined with prime antiques. Well, if I move too fast, that ain't going to happen. It just ain't going to happen. Now I got to get away from this bus. So, what does that mean it ain't going to happen? Well, number one, I'm driving. I got the po-po behind me, so I'm trying to roll properly. I'm also looking at the ladies as I'm driving. You know, that's always enjoyable. But here's the point. The items have to be gotten rid of. I can't just blow them out and sell private property at a loss my entire life. I have to sit there and go slow with this. There is no rush to this. I think sometimes I get so ahead of myself with how fast time goes, which is a good thing, but I can become obsessive compulsive about it. And I guess I have. I consider myself, I'm always referring to myself as so effing old. But, you know, I met a 72-year-old guy that I failed to mention at the flea market this weekend who's had a knee replacement and has been retired for years. And just hearing his story, nice guy, calm demeanor, you know, a lot more different than me, more laid back. But wow, it really kind of energized me. And then just thinking, hey man, you know, when I laid that video down the other day when I was sitting out in the sun listening to Metallica, and I said, boy, when I was in all those bands earlier in my life, I wish I had focused more on Metallica because they really were hitting on all cylinders and doing it right. And maybe I could have followed that example and been successful at that. And immediately that switched over to the flea market situation and just being too ahead of myself and wanting to move too fast You know, I've got all these visions, but I fail to realize, I guess, at times that, yeah, it's a long, long battle. You know, I've got about 15 years in, I laid in on my back and my muscles and my body, destroying it, doing junk, driving like Lamont through the alley 7 days a week, brother. Frickin' 7 days a week. And I ain't whining either. It was bliss. It was enjoyable. I wish I could do it today, but my situation is different with the kids being older. 2 of them special needs, blah, blah, blah. Wah, wah, wah. The reality is, I'm not able to get out there anymore like I used to. So, limited time. Like today. Today is my day. Are we getting off topic? No, because I think that this touches on a lot of our lives, you know. A lot of us are constricted, is that the proper word, with time limits and such, as to what we can put into it. You know, we don't all have those 7 days a week. Some of us do. And to the guys out there, man, that can, get out there, brother, because things do change, brother or sister or whatever the hell. You know, and right now, what am I doing? I'm whipping through an alley. Frickin' right. Now, there was an old rocker right there. Now, back in the day, it's about a 1980s rocker, 1970s, real solid construction. They were still made very well then, that I would grab and I could have sold at Gilbert's Junk Shop for 20 bucks or something back in the day. But, you know, obviously, I am hoarded out. I've got way too much junk. I shouldn't even be in the alley, but I'll tell you what, the treasures are in the alley. And now I've lost my point, but basically getting back to how I was energized by that Metallica song and listening to them was just really, you know, sitting back, reassessing, laying all the items out for the flea market. This isn't new game to me. I think my impatience is what kills me, because I do want to move fast, always it seems. So that's what's hurting me, guys. It's not that I don't realize what sells and what I need to do, etc. It's just basically me moving 100 miles an hour. And my dad always told me when I was younger, slow down. And that's what I have to do in this situation. And my girlfriend even lays it on the line like that too. She's like, man, just settle down. I see how you get you get on a whim and you just go crazy. I move very quickly, no matter what I'm doing, whether it was buying this transit, etc. in life. And I've got to learn. I think that's from in my youth, because, hell, if someone laid a hamburger on the table in front of me, I didn't have anything to eat. I had to snatch that sucker fast, because someone else would snatch it before me. And I think that's kind of just carried over, you know, and that's what I'm still doing in effect. Now look, here's a great item in the alley, but I'm not going to grab it. But here it is. And what it is, it's just a nice light, modern. It says free, and it's got a nice little rack there. Totally usable items, and if you had a little secondhand store or something, you could do it. You could use those items and sell them for a few bucks. That shade, you might get a couple bucks for that, eh? Probably scrap it for more, but whatever. Getting back to what I was rambling about. Guys, get out there. Reassess your situation. Sometimes, you know, emotion can get the best of us. You know, life to me always seems to be so damn short, and it is. It goes by in a blink. But realistically, you know, I've got to just slow it down. I'm 47, you know. Now let's touch on some of my comments on my videos. Hopefully I went somewhere with that. You know, that's a problem, I think, with being unscripted. Sometimes I will fall off track the way I ramble. But hopefully I touched on a few of the things I wanted to make clear. But let's see, what can we get back to? Just the messages I've gotten from you guys. Freaking mad. Casey, shout out, man. Oh, I'd love to get in that trailer full of military stuff. That would be so rad. That would be a dream. If I could get in there and pick that, brother. But hell, so do you feel that, Casey? Do you always sit there and go, oh shit, man, we got too much stuff, we're panicking? But I guess with a situation like that, you could just open those trailers up and let the pickers come, etc. Getting back to things, let's see, what can we touch on? Some guys had asked me to show what I was listing at the flea market. I will. When I set those tables up, I'll do a shot. Sometimes I say this, that I'm going to do a shoot and I don't get to it, but I will honestly try to do that this week. I got to think I'll get it maybe done today, maybe Thursday. Today it's biting a little late. You know, I'm in the alley right now, and I am supposed to be going and getting a swimming pool for my kids, but the beast is calling. The beast of junk. You know, just putting in that one drive-through, just down one alley, you may find nothing. Like right now, I'm not finding anything. I've seen a couple things, but back in the day, man, when I did this every day, you know, I would go through days like this where I would drive for hours through the alleys and not find nothing. But it's all luck, dude. You could just hit an alley and just totally score the most rad antique. It's feasible. So guys, always get out there. And the compliments, brothers, saying that, you know, I motivated you, or you just enjoy watching them, the videos. It makes it very rad for me, and I'm stoked. So what was I selling there? Let's touch on that. Some glassware, just vintage cool stuff. All nothing too mind-blowing, but still cool, you know. Stuff that is pretty rad, I would call it, compared to the norm. I would stop and look at my table. Let's put it that way. Look at me. I can't stop flipping down the alleys, brothers. I can't. I might find an antique. Who knows? A Herman Miller chair. And Casey, like I said, big shout out, brother. That's rad with the property and stuff. I'm just salivating, thinking of getting there and picking. And we've done some awesome trades. You definitely have just stepped up to the plate, man. That truck deal I made with you for that old sword, that was rad. I enjoyed that a lot. I love that truck. That's in my personal collection. You know, I honestly wanted that freaking truck for myself, and I'm keeping that. I'll keep that for retirement. That's not getting flipped. I'm not trying to make a buck on a trade. I like that damn piece. I'm stoked that you like the sword. Now look, we're coming up on some junk. So that's why I'm going to stutter here for a second, guys. It is no junk. It is just a garbage can overflowing with shit. But sadly, no Herman Miller chairs. Now there's an old TV across the street. You know I ain't touching that. But that's where last week where I got 2 old speakers and what a cool lamp that I'm actually using now. Look at these guys here, making the wrong turns. So there I've rambled. I've probably covered nothing in this video, other than maybe getting to ramble to you guys for a second. I'm trying to I'm stuttering here, and my brain is stuttering. I'm trying to think of the comments, you know, that I got, and maybe specifically more to like questions I had heard. Yeah, I've reassessed the whole situation with the flea market. I'm ready to hit it hard again this weekend, and this weekend I will bring the flip with me, and I will show you my display. And yeah, oh, here's one guy said, don't price your stuff. I've never priced my stuff. That was kind of out of the norm for me to price it, but I'll tell you something. It did work effectively because I ended up getting a lot more for items, because usually when I shoot from the hip, I really do tend to give the shit away, and I've got to quit that crap. So I actually had pulled off a bunch of prices that I had priced everything when I had my garage sale. I pulled off a bunch as I was packing the stuff away, and then as I was at home kind of taking the tubs off, anything that was on the top that had a price, I was pulling it. But I'm actually going to reprice the stuff again, because I'll tell you why. It does it for me because it keeps me focused. 'Cause sometimes I forget maybe if I bought a piece, or if I honestly think a piece is worth a little bit more, and I sometimes fail to realize that my pieces that I'm trying to just blow out are actually pretty effing unique and pretty effing rad, and dudes are pretty stoked to get them. I just have to be patient to move them out. So that's what I took from it, man. A lot of reassessing, but that's life, man. I'll constantly be doing this, you know, and I do this in my normal life as well with the family. You know, I struggled some days. I'm not the best dad. I'm not the best boyfriend. But I think that what sets me apart is I am able to realize my mistakes and face them head on, and not just brush them off and move on and be naive and to honestly think that I know everything. I am constantly trying to better myself with how I speak, how I carry myself, everything. So it's a motivational thing to you out there. You can do it. You know, if you struggle, we all have bad days. I mean, it's so cliche to say this one saying of, you know, it's a poem by somebody. But it's just basically, obviously, some absurd things took place during the day today. And the best thing we can do is once it's behind us, we have to move on. We can strive because there is tomorrow. Tomorrow is a beautiful, beautiful thing because it gives us that opportunity when we wake up to start fresh. And I'm getting pumped up right now because I frickin' mean it, man. From the heart, guys. Life is effing rad. I don't give a shit if you get beat down. You get up because you can. Because there's too many of us that can't. Too many falling along the road on the mountaintop climbing that are gone. And we all have them. We all got them. And that's what we live for because they can't. You know how many people are laid up in a hospital bed? Hey, I ain't trying to teach you like you guys don't know this, but these are things that I tell my son. Be glad you can get out, man. Live your passion. It's all out there. We can walk. Hey now! We can walk, brother. Get out there, find that junk. I ain't finding it, so you know what? You're gonna find it. Someone's gonna get it. Get out there, one of you guys, and score today. Because there is some serious shit laying by a curb somewhere that has got to be saved. And one of you are going to be the one to save it. And guess what? It might put food on your table too for the next 2-3 years. That's another serious part of this. So everyone, big love, big shout out to all ya. Keep picking, keep junking, and dropping junk. Hey now! Metal Mike.